88 days ago, 15 college students began their Survivor Boston journey. But they were joined by 3 returning players given a second chance.
Together, they all embarked on a season full of big personalities.
Compile the list of reasons why Shelly Joe should not go home.
Blindsides.
10th person voted out of Survivor Boston and the 3rd member of our jury. Hannah.
And moments that got personal.
I'm like gonna start crying right now.
At the beginning of the game, the contestants were split into 3 tribes, but one tribe, Yord, became distinct.
We're cutting and beautiful.
These players made close bonds that would stick throughout the entire game.
At the tribe swap, Stefan, Roz, and Brandon remained on Yord, leading to a tight trio of pure Yord members. Through their connections with other players, they controlled the entire merge thus far. However, these players haven't forgotten that it's an individual game, allowing other players to gain traction.
I'm thinking the next challenge that he doesn't win immunity, he has to go.
5 players remain.
Brandon. He has proved to be a strategic force from the beginning of the game by finding an idol and cultivating strong relationships. Having won 3 challenges, his threat level continues to rise. But he has his trio to rely on. Will his dominant gameplay reward him the win?
Roz. She used her loyal and outgoing personality to win others over from the start, gaining key allies that helped to form the Pure Yord Alliance. After being a key player in the alliance that steamrolled Laku, will she be able to stand out in front of the jury?
Stefan. While at first Stefan may have seemed like he was just a funny guy,
Just getting a few laps in.
he has proven he knows how to use his relationships to make it far in the game. The end is in sight, and will his style of gameplay help him make it through these last few days?
Bram. From the very start of this game, Bram has been on the outs, and has been on the wrong side of the vote practically every round. However, he has managed to escape being voted off multiple times, and has recently made more connections to hopefully secure his spot in the end. Will it pay off for Bram?
Sarah. The last returning player standing. Ever since her poor performance in Season 2, Sarah came back with the desire to prove herself. Learning from her mistakes, she has upped her social game to a new level, finding herself in a tight alliance in the final 5. Will she be able to push to the end and prove to everybody that she can play this game?
It all comes down to this. Who will get to the final 3, and who will outwit, outplay, and outlast the rest to become the 3rd winner of Survivor Boston?
Is he okay?
What? They're taking awfully long in there.
Oh, you guys didn't run into him?
No. Thought it was gonna be me. When you said, when you said I'm gonna block a vote, I was like, he's gonna look right at me.
No, like, the reason... Okay, so I'll explain my reasoning for doing that. It's because he's very determined in the challenges. Like, and I knew that especially from the rope challenge.
Yeah.
And I was just like, he really, like, he was going for it. And I was just like, Arr.
Final 5. I think that being in the final 5, I feel like I've earned it. I feel like my team has earned it. Yord has earned it. I just want to say for the record, I have never, like, I was never, like, that big into, like, Survivor. Like, I was interested in it, but I had never, like, delved deep into the strategies. I didn't research, like, what makes you a winner, or like how do you position yourself. I feel like me getting to the final 5 has, like, it's just solidified, like, the hard work that I put in, the, like, dedication, the athletics, the mental brain power, the social power. I'm very happy with myself, and I've proven to myself that I can make it. I can do this, which is something that, like, when I went into this, I thought I could do it, but now I've proven it to myself that I can.
What happens from those teams is random because, like, I didn't know any of you guys and we got put on Yord.
And honestly, I think that was something that just benefited Yord. No one knew anybody. Like, Mete, like, they already had inner squirrels, I feel like.
Yeah.
And that just, like, they self-imploded.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all like...
Like, we were like, sunshine and rainbows. Like,
they were like, we actually like each other. And they were like, really? And we were like, Yeah.
Yeah, when I was on Laku and I was like, ugh, I was just like, wait, throwback to when I had like a team who like was nice. I mean, not like you were nice, but I mean like. But I just mean like that whole one tribal. I was like, that sucked. Everyone was ganging up on me. Gangbang.
What?
Survivor Boston late nights. I did not know what the advantage was. Like, I knew that Brandon did have an advantage, but I had no idea if it had to do with votes or, you know, idols or something like that. So I was not expecting him to play it. I was not wanting to vote John out at all. In fact, I didn't know really that we were voting for John until the last minute. I was like, hey guys, we're voting for Bram, right? And they're like, no, we're voting for John. I'm like, oh. And and then I talked to Roz and I'm like, Roz, you know, John is on our side with the whole Brandon thing. Like, he's good to have around. And Roz was like, I wish I had known this earlier, but at this point, you know, we can't really change the vote at the last second, so it's good to just go with the majority and just vote John out. And I was like, the whole time I was like, I don't want to do this, but I'm doing this for the majority and for Jord. And hopefully it doesn't backfire on me. So it feels good to be the last returning member left in this game. I didn't think I would get this far, period. But the fact that I have beat the other 2 returning members and a lot of new players, and I have really secured my spot in the Survivor Boston lore, is a good thing, and it really secures like how I feel about myself in the game and how I feel about myself as a competitor, not just in Survivor Boston, but like, you know, in general, as a person. JFK is trapped on the moon.
Ross, we're talking about how like we're gonna probably become memes once this shows. I mean, not memes. But like at any moment we could become memes. We could do like a weird face or whatever. And
we could be the next like someone like looks at someone or something.
Yeah.
Similarly to Joe, John is a player who's a little too trustworthy in people and like when he shouldn't be. But I understand. I made a really compelling argument to him and keeping him, and I really gained his trust. I was just good at kind of, you know, lying to him and twisting his arm a little bit. Well, it feels good. It's definitely a relief to be in this final 5, but I mean, I saw it coming, you know. It's been kind of in the plans for a while, so. But no, it feels good. I can tell I have people have my back and I can trust people. I'm obviously very cautious all the time, but you know, I made it this far. I don't think anyone's trying to backstab me right now.
Okay, so I was totally down to get rid of Sarah before John because Sarah has ties to members of the jury. And also, Stefan and I right now are trying to play a game where Brandon feels comfortable. And Brandon needs to trust us. So, Brandon wanted John, it's not our name, so it's John. I am still so shocked I'm not home. The way I am trying to win this game is trying to be likable. Like, I knew from the get-go that relationships and people are my strong suit. And that's literally what I did to get here. I created a family for myself with Jord. And then just by circumstance, it brought me to stick closer to them and stick with them. And then I invested so much time in them outside of Survivor too. And I think that just like proved that I'm just loyal as a human being. I'm honestly pretty shocked that no one's realized that I've been on the right side of every single vote. I've orchestrated every single vote, and I've known about who's going home every single time I've had to go to tribal. And it's all because of my relationships with people.
Nope.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Locked down.
All right, go ahead.
All right, Brandon, first things first, he'll take back immunity.
Final 5.
Sorry, guys.
All right. Once again, immunity is back up for grabs. Today's challenge is going to test how well you remember this game.
Oh, where's Son?
What?
So around the hallway in 3 separate spots are piles with faces of the players that have been voted out of this game. The goal of this challenge is to run out, grab the bag, and come back, drop it here. Once you retrieve all 3 bags, you will then have to organize all the faces of the voted out players in order, starting at the bottom with the first person voted out, going all the way up to the 12th person voted out. The person who is
John isn't included.
John is not included.
Got it.
Yeah,
The first person to stack all of the faces in the challenge we like to call Face Stack Fuck Shack wins.
I named it. The piles are going to be in 3 separate places. You can only run out to get one at a time, and then you have to bring it back.
Also, don't grab a cone.
We're going to point out where each thing is, and then we'll get started. All right. Survivors ready?
Oh, we're starting now?
For immunity and a 1 in 4 shot at winning this game. Survivors ready? Go!
Where do we put him? Okay.
Sorry, it doesn't make it. That's Robin's. Bram's. Well, Stefan, there's it. You're the end. Remember where you guys are. Brandon and Sarah coming back with their second. They're in the lead. Bram right behind.
Ah, that's mine. Fuck!
Adjusted. Roz coming back with her second. She's in last, but not far behind.
That is some effort.
And here comes Bram. Bram's in first place with his last piece. Bram can get started. Stefan coming with his last. Brandon and Roz coming in with their last. And here comes Sarah. Everyone's gonna get started with their pieces. How well do you remember this game? Oh, sorry.
Remember, first one out is at the bottom.
Once you have it, yell it out. That's how you do right. Brandon's quickly moving through this.
Done! I know it's right.
Roz!
Yes! Yeah!
Good shit. Oh my God.
That did not get far.
Wild.
I know my people. What can I say? I know my people.
All right.
But you didn't really go to tribal that much, so.
All right, Roz. Are you getting immunity?
I'm gonna take my time.
Alright, Roz has a 1 in 4 chance at winning this game. Cannot be voted out until tomorrow night's tribal council. As for the rest of you, one of you will become the 14th person voted out and the 7th member of the jury. You guys have about a day to figure out who that will be. Grab your stuff, head on out.
I've really taken a lot of energy and time. It's proving to pay off every single step that you get closer, and 5 is pretty close to 1, so.
We were like, I guess I was the closest friends with Hannah and Joe out of the 3 of us. Yeah. They were like, oh, he's gonna break your.
Yeah. It's just cause.
No.
No. I mean, they tried.
Oh, they did.
Props to you guys.
No, like, anyone who put up a fight.
Yeah, props.
Good job.
Yeah.
I sound so fucking so cocky.
I mean, it's time.
But like,
if you put up a fight, good on you, because like at least you tried.
At least you're nice. You're saying they put up a fight.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But also, you know, like.
When was the last vote we weren't orchestrating or all on or?
I don't want anybody messing with my spot. And this is the last time that I can play my idol in the competition. So after this, I'm powerless. I want to know that I'm going to make it to Final Four. And this idol is my ticket into the Final Four.
I think neither of them know who's leaving. And I think both of them are expecting it could be them.
Mm-hmm. But they can't do anything unless they have an idol.
And no, they literally can't.
Because
do anything.
the two of them teamed up. They literally can't do anything.
They can't. So, oh, cool.
Like, who do we want to bring with us?
Yeah, Bram, right?
I think. Okay.
Yeah, we just need a.
There's a discussion. I feel like because I feel very like strongly isn't the right word, but like I just have doubts either way. You know what I mean? Because like I guess like physically Bram is gonna be stronger, right? Than Sarah.
We have to decide who's gonna compete worse in the challenge. We also have to decide who's gonna be less favorable in
if they do
final
make
three.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like, but go. Sorry.
I feel like it's Bram.
So we're at top 5. And we have 2 choices. Bram or Sarah. Bram is the only member left of Laku that they're all gonna rally behind. But on the other hand, Sarah has such an underdog story of being passed between different teams, being the target at different points, but she still made it and she still played the game without really being mean to anyone or backstabbing anyone or anything like that.
What do we think? The only thing John ever said that resonates with me is the fact that Bram is like a pure Laku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I'm threatened by, but I also feel like the Laku members I think the Laku members A, have a respect for the game, yeah, and B, they know that Bram is the Laku member that is with us. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, he literally said like so let's say it's 2 of us and Bram in the final 3, we can literally say Bram said that he is the Laku member that turned on all of you.
Yeah.
He literally just said that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you want a reason not to vote for him, that's it.
Oh,
because he wanted Nick gone and he wanted Molly gone, and with those 2 people gone, they lost their number.
I love him. I actually love him so much. I always just want to be like,
It's
Bram.
La 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 until he gets into the tribal room and he's like fuck.
No, my favorite thing he said all season was during the coin challenge and his things fell, and then Jacob Bertelli was like, you said you needed to win and you dropped. How does that feel? He goes, that sucks.
Yeah.
That was my
And then he still didn't go home.
He still didn't go. Yeah.
Yes, Bram does have the backing of Laku, but he also lacks like that inner motivation and that inner drive to really like drive a win home. I would think so. Again, and he could still win because of the overall like idea of Laku, but I think that the underdog story is just a little bit scarier. So when I think about it, I lean towards eliminating Sarah over eliminating Bram.
Hannah was a blind side.
Yeah, Mama.
Joe was...
We picked off every single person in Merge.
Mm-hmm. And then for every tribal, like again, we've had majority vote. We've been in the know.
We've orchestrated it.
Yeah, because we got people to trust us. That's the thing.
That's
Hannah, Joe, John, Sarah. We got them to believe in. Even Molly trusted me for like that 5 seconds we talked before tribal on the day of. I was like, yeah, we're gonna vote. What did I say? We're gonna vote off Joe. And then she was like, okay.
And we also just all individually got different people that trust us, which is like I'm just thinking about it now, like that's a huge play.
That was a huge play.
And I'll say that that's also like a nod to our teamwork and our trust in each other.
That's the thing, like
that I don't think they expect.
When we get to final 3 and we all say our piece, they're gonna be like, wait, what? Like, it's not one of us orchestrating something.
Yeah. Right.
It's literally each of us played our part, each of us cared about this game, each of us thought about it. What was your perception?
Yeah.
I'm not a fast runner, so I was just like, so I definitely probably got last place on that one, but I was not too worried about that. Roz won, and I know we had kind of the same opinions on things, so I was like, okay, it's good that she won, and it's good that Brandon didn't win, because now he is able to be voted out.
I don't know what to do because I'm trying to win this game and only one person can win. And now we're here.
Brandon keeps winning these immunity challenges, and so the next time he doesn't, he could be possibly on the chopping block.
Right.
So he didn't this time. So
I literally am on the same page. It was okay. I wish I knew about that John thing earlier, because it was Brandon's idea to vote John. You know how smart Brandon is.
Yeah.
But he was in easy numbers for us, and that's why we kept him. So I get that he had to be like let loose eventually.
Yeah.
But it could have saved us.
Yeah.
Brandon is like perfectly using Bram. Like I don't think anyone actually talks to Bram.
Yeah.
But I think, because every time we mention voting Bram off, he's always like, he doesn't do it, like it's not, he doesn't do anything. So Sarah basically comes to me, and Sarah basically flat out is like, he's a threat, he's won way too many challenges, he cares a lot about this game, and I'm worried about him. And I was like, oh Sarah, you're realizing all of this, like you're noticing what's going on, you can see what's happening. Like obviously yes, he's winning, he's been asked to be a part of probably everyone's final 3, and yeah, so when Sarah sort of was like, yeah, I noticed that too, I was like, okay, A, I'm not crazy, but B, like he is really a threat then if other people can like recognize his position.
And Brandon needs Stefan with us. And we should talk to Bram too.
I'm just worried Brandon is gonna vote you out tonight.
Vote me out?
Yeah.
Why?
Like, I'm literally worried. Because he loves Bram. I'm in this predicament where I have Sarah, who is willing to vote out Brandon. I have Bram and Stefan, who are all willing to vote out Brandon. However, we have Brandon, who has an idol. It just becomes really hard when you sort of know that you can't vote out Brandon, but then you have Sarah coming and really wanting it. I think he feels so safe right now because he knows he has us, right?
Yeah.
And then he knows no one ever talks to Bram, so in his mind he uses Bram for his numbers game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Also,
Brandon needs to leave.
Yeah, I think it'd also be in Stefan's best interest to vote with us.
From an outside perspective, it like on paper it looks like, okay, the Yords are going against Bram, but I know I've been in talks, at least with Roz, to kind of eliminate Brandon because he is just very strong and he, like, otherwise he's gonna win. But it was still in the back of my mind that he could have an idol, and I actually was thinking out of all of them, it's gonna be Brandon who has the idol. So I was like, I don't know.
If Brandon were to vote for anyone, I don't know why. Like, it doesn't seem like,
What?
I don't know. I just don't.
Brandon literally told us that I think it goes you, Bram, and then he wants the 3 of us in final 3. Like he said that. But I'm going to lose that.
Yeah.
If we're in, like, he cannot be final 3 because obviously he's going to win. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Roz and Stefan told me that Brandon was going to vote for me. So I was like, okay, that's going to happen. So how do we make it so I don't go home? So I actually structured a vote in which it ties between Bram and Brandon.
Hi, we're voting on Brandon.
Just turn it off.
I'm shutting my door. I'm so scared.
He's like lurking.
Roz has immunity.
Bram and I will vote Brandon, and Roz and Stefan will vote Bram. If Brandon does have an idol, then he plays it and Bram gets out. But if Brandon doesn't have an idol, it ties, and then we re-vote and we get Brandon out.
Does anyone know where Bram is right now? What if we bring him in here? Is that a lot? Is that the most he's ever done?
I think he's gonna be out. You guys cool with that?
If he's cool with it, I'm so cool with it. You know? Like, if he's down, I'm down.
Sarah went to Roz and they talked about getting Brandon out. That was her idea. But only we know that Brandon has an idol, so that can't happen. And tonight's the last night that he can play that. So I don't really have a fear that Brandon's going to play the idol on someone else. If it's the last night to play an idol and you have an idol, you're probably going to play it on yourself. Like, just cuz. Just even if he doesn't think anyone's voting for him, like, why not? It's getting to the point of this game where one person has to win. 3 of us can make it to the final tribal, but one of us wins, and it's becoming more of a singular game. So I don't blame him if he plays it on himself. As far as we've come, Bram, like, you know, clearly he's not playing the same game we are, and he doesn't really know what he's doing. And we're using that to our advantage, really.
Honestly, I feel fine, unless what Stefan told me was a complete lie. Otherwise, then I'm out. But, you know, I don't think they want. It sounded honest. And I asked him too. I'm like, you can be completely honest with me. Are you voting me out? Now I really don't have anyone in this game. I don't have a foot in the door, and I have to get that because I've been lucky these past couple days.
I'm pretty sure if Sarah were to be in the final 3, Sarah has a great story. Sarah's a recurring character. Sarah cares a lot about Survivor, literally came back out for the next season. And Sarah was also on both the LeCoux and your teams, which take up majority of the jury members, so it becomes really hard to keep giving her chances to make her way to final 3, especially when I know I don't want her there. However, I also have Bram, who was close to LeCoux, but that's also hard.
The jury is pretty heavily LeCoux, and, you know, Bram was LeCoux. And they might, like, they might see some kind of, like, underdog story with him or something like that. And that could be dangerous for the rest of us. But I don't know. Like, maybe he's a little unpredictable, but I keep thinking maybe he's unpredictable, but he's not actually. He's quite predictable, and it's whatever we coach him to do, he'll do. So I think Sarah she knows more about what she's doing, and Bram's just a little bit easier to bring along with us, and I know we can convince him to vote for whoever we want. I'm not really afraid of being voted off either. I don't think I will. There are other people in this game that there's more of a target on them, Sarah and Bram. Obviously, every time there's a tribal, there's a fear. Like, it's just an inherent fear. Like, oh, what if I get voted off right now? You can't help but get a little worried.
Alright, so only 5 people left in the game. Bram, you are the sole LeCoux surrounded by 4 Yord members.
Heck yeah.
However, the past 3-4 tribals now, you've said, yeah, it's probably me going home, the Yords are going to vote me off.
But it hasn't been.
Exactly, it hasn't been. What are the odds for you at this tribal where now it's literally just the Yords and you?
I think the odds are a bit better than they have been. I think we've all, every week is a new week. And we've taken our time to talk and get on equal footing.
What makes you say that this week is not different from the other weeks? In past weeks, you've had other LeCou members sitting next to you that also could be potential options to go home. Now it's literally just you.
Well, I think the interactions that we've had since, LeCou has, past LeCou members have been voted off. I think before then I was pretty scared and skeptical. I still am, scared and skeptical, but it's definitely gotten, things have been cleared up. We've gotten closer as a cohort, and we've definitely figured things out.
Roz, is this true? Have there been other conversations now in this game where Bram isn't necessarily the easy target at this point?
I mean, sort of, I guess, that's sort of Bram's only strategy too if he wants to move forward, so...
Stefan, we're at this point in the game where you have to also be thinking about who you can beat at the very end of the game.
Right.
What kind of a person are you looking to take to the end of the game with you?
My plan is just to bring in people who I think I can put up a good challenge against or a good competition against. And obviously we all want to get to Final 3, so we all have that same mentality in mind. We were trying to think okay, who can we beat? Who in the past has not competed as well as others, so on.
Who are some of those people? Who are the ones that you think, oh, I can beat you, you haven't been putting up that much of a fight?
Okay, I think the question is who can't I beat, and that's Brandon. He's been doing great these past few challenges. But no, also the thing is, these challenges are becoming so random that, I can't even be oh, I can just win them all because I'm good at challenges. I sucked in yesterday's challenge. I was doing well in other ones, but Roz fucking dominated.
Thank you.
10 seconds.
So, Brandon, to back things up a bit, Stefan calls you out I can't beat you at the end. This deep in the game, that's got to be red flags everywhere, especially coming from the guy who's been preaching your unity since day one.
Yeah. No, I mean, it definitely is a worry. I realized that I think it kind of clicked the last challenge that I won, that it was oh, this was my third win, and therefore, it's competition for everyone else numbers-wise, and so it is a worry. I'm proud of myself for being able to achieve that, but it's also at the end of the day, it's whew, maybe it's gonna come back and hit me in the butt. I mean, we've been on a team since day one, and so I don't know. I don't know.
I whisper into the camera, I love him.
Bram, this must be a great break for you right now, because for the first time in a long time, the Yords have started throwing shots at each other this deep in the game. Should you capitalize on this?
Oh, I think so. It would be dumb of me not to, and I think that at this point, we've talked about old Yord, old this, old whatever. We're Kids Bop Team 18.
That's
volume.
old.
Is that old?
That's old.
That's us. That's what this is.
I was agreeing with the fact that you were old this, old that. I was yeah, that's old.
Yeah.
I was agreeing with you, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sarah, do you agree with that? Is it, at this point, there is no old Yord, there's no old LeCou, there's no Mete if they ever existed. Is this game just who can I beat at the end?
Right, who do I see as my final 3? It's not really a team, an old team thing anymore. Every challenge, you're oh, it could be this person, and then something, and then you're oh, it could be this person. So it's just it's just a matter of who gets there.
Roz, how many conversations have been focused around the final 3 at this point?
I feel every single conversation ultimately leads to a final 3 conversation.
And then, Stefan, this is also an important tribal council because it's the last time a hidden immunity idol can be played this week. Has that weighed into your options at all? Okay.
Good answer.
Great answer. Can we explain it, though?
Explain it?
Explain your answer.
That just means hey, if someone has an idol, they're going to use it just for shits and giggles. It doesn't even have to be a strategic thing anymore. It's I had this, I was holding on to it for however long. So, yeah, we definitely have to consider that. And who knows?
And Sarah, that must be a factor, because at the beginning of the game we did say there are 3 hidden immunity idols in this game. Since then, only 1 idol has been played. at a tribal council. Is this a concern for you?
Yeah, definitely. It's always in the back of your mind, like everything you think about, you're like, ooh, maybe, but then, ooh, maybe what if someone has an idol, ooh, and it's just like, it's always kind of at the earwig in your mind that's just like, okay, how is this tribal gonna go, like that kind of thing.
Brandon, do you think that this vote right here could determine who the winner is?
No, because I think everyone here has a reasonable claim to the title. Even among us, we all have our own reasons for winning, and whoever makes it to the final three, I think we're gonna have different cases. So really, like, whichever three of us make it there, it's gonna be different either way. So I don't think so. I think this is just knocks out what everyone else has to worry about, what the four have to worry about in the final three.
All right, it's time to vote. Sarah, you're up.
Damn, this is wild.
Brandon, I'm sorry, but you came for me, so I'm gonna come for you.
Room's getting real small.
This one, I'm a little bit reluctant to do this.
I'll get it again, bitch.
I did not know that.
Try my best. If anybody has a hidden immunity idol, tonight is the final night you can play it. Thank you, Brandon.
Not at the party. That's a first. That's a second, actually.
The rules of Survivor state that if anybody plays a hidden immunity idol, any votes cast against that person will not count, and the person with the next highest number of votes will go home. This is a hidden immunity idol. Any votes cast for Brandon will not count.
I'm hypnotized, Jacob.
Good. First vote. Brandon. Sarah. Sarah. It's 2 votes Sarah, 2 votes left. 14th person voted out of Survivor Boston and the 7th member of the jury. Sarah, you can scream me your buff. Sarah, the tribe has spoken. Alright, there's only 4 of you left. 3 of you will make the final tribal council. 1 of you will be the 3rd winner of Survivor Boston. Grab your stuff and wait outside. We'll do our next community challenge in a minute.
How did this happen?
So I totally was not expecting this. I thought I was going to final 3. So I was totally not expecting that, but I guess it had to happen, and I was surprised that I was voted off before Bram. So good job, Bram, for sticking through this. But I hope that it is a really interesting final 3. I'm excited to see who it is, and yeah, Yord forever, man. Love you guys.
Did it.
So
How did we do this? Come through. Okay, with this final challenge, I love it.
Yeah.
I can honestly say, like,
at this point, Final 3, regardless of who it is going to be a good match.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we're all
qualified.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to be there, but I would love to be with him.
Yeah.
We made it so far.
It feels
Playing
good.
so low key, but also high key at the same time. I think I have a good chance. I just have to really stand up for myself in the jury. And Brandon sometimes, he gives me, sketches me out a little bit. We know he's a threat. Everyone's saying how he's playing the game the best and whatnot. I think it would be a really solid Final 3, but they're gonna choose Brandon in jury. Also, Roz is a very vocal player. She's a very outward player. So people are gonna immediately be be more interested in her. So I just have to show that I'm not just here, I'm my own person.
It has to be another one of those like multi-part challenges like it was before.
It has to be.
I was thinking more like the very first challenge. You know what I mean? Where it was like, get something off the wall, untie it from the thing. Now you gotta knock something down. Then you gotta go over here and pick these things up and then knock them down. And then you gotta
milk this cow and sell it to.
Then you have to rescue your mom. You know?
It means a lot to me just to know that I'm here. I've survived Survivor for this long. I've had idols, well, one idol, but and I had this advantage, and I've put myself in a good position strategically, but it's not over yet. And I still have to make it into the top 3, which I don't have my idol anymore. I have no advantage. My previous accomplishments and achievements mean nothing. I have to just win this challenge, or if I don't win it, I gotta get to the top 3 and then win. And that's it. It literally comes down to this challenge. And that's crazy to think about, is that it all, this is it. After this, we reached the final tribal and the winner's decided. And that's crazy to think about. And just even to think about that, I'm almost there. It's insane.
One scene that any returning player in a jury would have a higher claim to fame than any of us.
That's why.
Yeah. They'd be like, I went home, Sarah went home first, Joe went home right before merge. You know what I mean? They all have their reasons to be like, you didn't look at where I was and look at where I am now.
I've obviously
put the VHS in from being voted off day one.
Day one.
She was like, I never had a chance to prove myself, and now I'm in top 3.
Yeah.
You would have obviously.
That's a foolproof.
He's on stage for a total of 7 seconds. But he has
And
to
she
grab
played
another
it
move.
too, you know?
Yeah, no. We are not knocking. She made it here.
She made
Everyone
it here.
who's here is here for a reason. Honestly.
So it was just that her circumstances weren't favorable.
It's not going to be hard for him to win a challenge. And so, I just have to make sure Brandon's going to keep me and not vote me out. Because I would probably be... Do you think I'm probably his biggest threat right now? Oh my God.
All right, are you guys ready to get to your final immunity
Ready
challenge?
to eat these. I'm
No, put them down.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. First things first, Roz will take back immunity.
It was so sweet and so sweet.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, for the last time, immunity is back up for grabs. You guys seem really ready. A little nervous.
For the last time.
All right, for today's challenge, you guys are going to be using 2 sticks to hold up another stick on the ends. Very simple challenge. You'll be holding it very close to that middle stick at first, and then as the challenge goes on, you're going to be moving your hands further and further away. When your sticks drop, you're out of the challenge. The last person standing wins immunity and will have a chance to plead their case to the jury on why they think they should win Survivor Boston. All right.
Thanks, Charlie.
Sure. We're going to count down from 10, and then the sticks have to be up. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Wait, Charlie.
2,
Oh my God.
1. This challenge is on.
not too hard.
Brandon already bragging about the challenge after he almost just got out 10 seconds in.
Brandon.
Brandon, sorry.
I was like, huh? I was like, what did I do?
Brandon.
Has been having up for 2.5 minutes. Let's get to 2 hours like the hands up challenge.
Nope.
No.
For the love of it's not 2:45.
You guys want to hear the Final Four challenge in season 2 lasted 3.5 hours.
Damn it.
I'm shaking a lot.
I'm always shaking.
Stefan also got a little shaking him. Roz and Brandon just standing still like statues.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys are all good. You guys can set them down.
Whew, felt like I'm about to take off.
Behind the green.
All right. Oh, are we picking him up yet? You got this.
9,
Wait.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This challenge is back on. Everybody's back up, just barely. Bram's already shaking. Bram and Stefan are a little bent. Roz is completely straight.
Fuck.
Bram.
I'm so fucking shaky. No, 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 no!
Drop, baby, drop.
Yeah, it's wait.
No, you got it. You got it.
Is it
Bram, you got
stuck in
this.
the phrase?
Oh, when Roz almost drops, lose your concentration for a second. You can be in danger. Remember the anti-concussion.
This is wild, guys.
Bram's whole body is shaking. See his shirt vibrating.
Yeah. How are you still holding on? Lordy Lord. Boy, I don't know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set them down. You're good.
No way.
Oh my god.
It's Can you believe that? I can't believe that.
All right.
I honestly can't believe that.
Everybody get your sticks ready.
I always believed in you.
Everybody get your sticks ready. I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna start my countdown. I'm gonna time this right. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody get your sticks up. And Brandon can do it. Brandon's stable for most of the challenge. Can't get those sticks up for the last one. So you gotta stop. Roz is turning her body so the shaking doesn't distract her.
No, no, no. Turn your body this way.
And Bram drops, and we are down to just Roz and just Stefan after 30 seconds into the round. Roz drops, which means that Stefan wins the final immunity.
Ow. Did not feel this.
Good job, bro.
Stefan, come on over.
Oh.
Second time this time, right? None of that third time. Miss me with that third time shit. Sorry.
Stefan is saved at Tribal Council. He now will have the shot to plead his case to the jury on why he deserves to be the sole survivor and the winner of this season. As for the rest of you, one of you will become the 15th person voted out and the final member of the jury. After 88 days of this game, you will be cut just short. You guys have until Friday to figure out who that is. Grab your stuff, head on out.
Alright. I know you're thinking, yeah, I need a shave before Final Tribal. It's been a tough week. But anyway, winning immunity again felt pretty good. The last one I won was the challenge where you hold a rope over your head, and that really fucked up my back for a while. I don't know if I talked about this yet, but the next day I had just horrible back spasms. I was going up the stairs and like totally wrecked my back and had to like sit down for the rest of the day. And I was directing this EIV show, so that was bad. But you know, pain equals glory. I didn't think I was gonna win it, but once I saw that I had a chance and like I really zeroed in and I was so focused, like I couldn't stop. And it feels great. Again, like I don't think I'm gonna be voted off, but it feels good to be safe anyway at this point in the game. I started as a pretty goofy person. I don't think I've shed that throughout this. It's a ridiculous thing we're doing, and I don't want to take it too seriously, you know? I don't want this to affect me in any way, because I've seen it happen to people, and I think it's so dumb. That's just how I am, but I think that kind of benefits me in a way, because people see me as this, like, person who's goofy and doesn't completely take it seriously and whatever, but meanwhile, I do a lot of planning. I've been a power player throughout this whole game. I'm still here. I plan on staying, and yeah, it's almost like there's two sides of me, but both sides are good, if you will.
You know, all according to plan, we're eliminating Bram and we're going to the top 3. And again, the whole time I was like putting it out there that like he's gonna win because of Laku. It was kind of like a surreal moment for me where I like realized in that moment that I was no longer safe. And you know, I think the only other time that I felt an inkling of danger was back during Tony's elimination when he wanted to get rid of me. That was the only other time that I felt like I was in danger, because I felt like I strategized this entire time to put myself in the position where I never had to be worried. I never had to play my idol. They never looked at me. But now, as when we get to the final 3, I'm the most threatening player in a way. I've won the most challenges. I've had an idol. I've had an advantage. All the other stuff that I've bragged about this entire time now is like, oh, he's the dangerous one. And I can't use that to my advantage because I did not win. I don't have immunity from this next elimination. So when I go into this next tribal, it's really going to come down to me being able to convince the people that are in the game, my teammates and Bram, to keep me here. And my argument is going to be the same that I've kept it this entire time, that Bram will win if he goes to the final 3 because Laku's there, which, you know, that's the best argument against Bram going there.
It's taking over. Okay. Hi.
Hey.
You may realize
It's just us two.
Stefan and I were partners, you know? Like, we thought of everything together. Like, he had ideas and I followed through on them. Like, we listened to each other. We just really understood each other in the game. We've been by each other's side the whole time, and like, I know he's not gonna turn on me. Like, I know that. Like, I just have this weird feeling in my gut that like, I totally could be in Brandon's position right now, like texting everybody, being like, who are you voting for? Is it really not me? Like, you swear, and like, maybe for a second, I just needed affirmation, but like, I know Stefan's gonna keep me in his final 3. I know I'm in Stefan's final 3. I just knew.
Yeah.
But
there's no way.
There's no other way. Yeah. So, this is for Brandon.
Okay, honestly,
Yeah.
even if we did vote him out, like, they're probably gonna pick you to win. But there's just nothing I can do. I'm not gonna try to vote you out because I sincerely do not want to do that.
I
go
haven't.
through the trouble and everything. There's nothing I can do. So I'm putting all my cards out. It's way too hard.
I really don't. I haven't won an immunity. I don't think I'm athletic. I literally got here with love. Which is not Survivor.
people like you. Like, they voted you for stuff in the
in superlatives.
Superlatives. That means that, like, you know, people are thinking about you.
I've been doing a lot of planning. Every time I meet with people, I'll meet with, you know, my allies, and then I'll meet with a smaller group of allies, and then I'll just go by myself and go through every single possibility of how the tribal is going to play out. And I have a pretty good grasp on like how the game's going, but I've kept pretty low key so far.
Because we've been making all the same moves. The only thing that Brandon's done is won a bunch of shit and like gotten idols and the block and everything. After that, it's all kind of the same thing.
The annoying thing about Brandon being in top 3 is honestly he can just list. You know what I mean? Like he can just be like, this is what I did, and this is what I did, and this is what I did.
When I came to Roz about getting Brandon off, like I had a very clear cut path of like how things could go. Maybe he might do this, maybe he might do that, he might talk to this person, and we kind of I think I don't think she was ever gonna be completely against it, but I think I really helped in getting her to that side to vote for Brandon.
Do you really think Bram is gonna win over us two?
Win the game? No.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
So Stefan did it. This was so crazy because Stefan was just like, okay. Stefan came up to me and Stefan was like, we have a better chance of just winning if Brandon's not there. A part of me is like, I could definitely beat Stefan. And then another part of me is like, I don't know if I could beat Brandon. And if Stefan's coming to me and Stefan's really asking me to turn on Pure Alliance, our Pure Yord Alliance, our family, that means like he really does want to win it too. And I don't know, it definitely doesn't feel right. Brandon's in a prime spot to get him out now, and he's never been so vulnerable in this whole game. So, do you still believe Bram's our best option?
I think so.
I agree.
He's gonna be so confused.
Yeah, he's gonna be in final 3 and he's gonna be like, literally, Bram isn't playing the game. Like, and it's perfect from everyone else's game, because who's gonna vote for Bram? Bram's like the joke. Like, we're like, Bram, we love you. You're great.
In my past in this game, trusting people has gotten me to where I am.
You just do whatever we say, and poor kid, like, I doubt he wants to be here, but we're keeping him, and it's because he's the perfect person. He's the perfect 3rd place to really just make it a duel between the two. So it would make sense to take advantage of it, but at the same time, it feels so wrong because Brandon, I'm telling him that it's pure Yord till the end. Lying and blindsiding doesn't really feel good when it's the person you were doing it with all along.
Coming this far and then realizing that I'm not invincible in a way is just really like, it's just shattering in a way. Like, it just really sucks. You know, it really sucks to know that you've put in all of this effort, all of this work. I have worked really hard this entire time. And Roz and Stefan did also, but I have stayed up late strategizing. I have planned, I have notes and all of this other stuff. I have written out reasons why I should win like this entire time. I've like logged my entire time in this competition, and I've worked so hard to get to where I am now. And to know that that could just be taken away because of a whim, because of the competition, because of votes. And there's nothing I have in my arsenal to protect me other than what I can say, other than what I can convince people to do. It's horrifying, and I don't like it because I want to win. I think I should win. And I might not.
Final four. Stefan, you won the last immunity challenge. Tell me about how that feels first.
Feels fucking great, I'm not gonna lie. I was so relieved. Not because I was like worried for today, I was just like, it's just so nice going into a tribal and knowing that there's no way you can get voted out. Unless there is and you guys are just pulling some shit on me. But yeah, I was just like, I don't know. I haven't had this feeling in, I guess, the entire game.
So what do you use to decide who you take to the end with you?
I would say this week I had a lot less like feeling like I had to, contribute to that decision, because I was like, okay, you know what, I'm not part of it, so like they'll decide. Obviously I still had some say in it.
Brandon, after you dropped at the last immunity challenge, everyone could see that you had this huge look of defeat. Do you think that says anything?
Oh, I know I'm going home. I knew from the minute that I dropped that I was going home. I won the most challenges. I feel like people had already talked about it, about me being the front runner, and I knew that there are a lot of things that are going into this tribal and that I'm getting eliminated for. I do kind of want to turn this moment, because this is going to be my last moment. I want to make an argument, not for why I should stay in, but for who I think I should win. For who I think should win. I think that Roz should win this, because if I'm going out, I want some, and I'm going to say this with jury. Hey jury, I want you guys to soak all this in too. For someone who has sat on the inside of Yord, and it's no secret that Yord has been kind of controlling this game. We've talked about it. We've talked about how we've always been on the right side of the vote, and everything that we've planned for, it's gone our way. I think that when it comes to who on the team, if I'm leaving, has put in the most amount of work when it has come to strategizing, I think it should be Roz.
So, Bram, Brandon's jumped ahead saying, all right, I think Roz should win. Can't look good for you right now. On the one hand, it's good because you kind of know you're not leaving. On the other hand, he's pitching another person to win.
No. Well, he's not pitching Stefan either. And,
whoever makes it into the final 3 deserves to be there and has equal shot of winning. At least I believe. I think whoever makes it has the ability to make a case for themselves, and I think everyone has a different story.
Roz, you had a very clear reaction to what Brandon said. Do you not think that rings true?
I think the 3 of us brought Bram here.
For sure. Oh no. We brought you here.
And I love you. I'm just gonna say that like voting Brandon out is gonna be the hardest thing I've ever had to do in this entire game. Even harder than capture the flag, and he knows how much I hate to capture the flag. Like the 3 of us literally will spend hours in a room like trying to think of things, and like so much energy and time, and like we don't sleep over Survivor and stuff like that.
So Stefan, Brandon's saying that Roz should be the winner. So wouldn't that pose Roz as a sort of threat going into the final 3 right now?
I mean, here's the thing. I know Roz is a great player. But I don't know, I think like just going to the final 3 and pitching our cases, like I think I'm gonna give my best. We've been very close this entire game, all of us. And I don't know, I think I might not have what it takes to win in some people's minds, but I think that I have like what it takes to at least convince them like, hey, maybe we should give him a shot.
Can I say something?
Sure.
It also, like what he just says like baffles my mind. Cause like I guess other people don't see like what he contributes. Cause it is actually so much, like especially in our conversations. It's also so true that like if Brandon comes to the final 3 with us, it's like it won't even be a battle or a challenge. And I do sort of like to fight. You know what I mean? And I want it to be a competition. So that's sort of why we decided. That's sort of why all of this happened. But like, I don't think it's as clear cut as everyone's thinking or saying it is.
Brandon, before we get to the vote, it seems pretty clear what the vote's gonna be. But it's not completely over if you do want to say something to maybe convince them not to vote you off.
I mean, are you really the winner unless you do the best? That's all I have to say. I mean, like, I feel like, again, a lot of the reason why I'm going home is because, and they've said it, that there was a lot of talk about, oh, you tied for the record, you won 3 challenges, yay, that's a big thing. There's talk about the game. And I feel like that's affecting things. Not to say that I wouldn't be going home anyway, and that you guys couldn't come to the conclusion that I've won 3 challenges anyway. That's not what I'm saying, but I feel like there are other things that are affecting it. And I guess that, I don't know, I kind of just had a moment where like my attitude shifted. It's kind of weird to know that like I came and I conquered, and that's the reason why I'm leaving. I'm not leaving because of anything else. That I feel like I am the winner. I don't know. I feel like it's so cliche, and I feel like that's so like I may not have won, but I feel like the winner. You know what I mean? But like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I showed what I can do, and that's the reason I'm going home. This isn't a competition that rewards the best. It's a competition that rewards situations. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I just kind of had a shift of attitude. So
All right, yeah. Let's get to the vote. Stefan, you're up. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted off will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote, Brandon. Bram. One vote Brandon, one vote Bram. Roz. We're tied 1 vote Brandon, 1 vote Roz, 1 vote Bram, 1 vote Roz. #15th person voted out Survivor Boston Beacon Hill. Brandon. Did you bring your buff? Brandon, sharp spoken. Go ahead. Congratulations, 3 of you have made it to the final 3. You will now get to present your case to the jury on why you think you should be the sole survivor. Grab your stuff, head on out. Good night.
That's so weird.
What do you want to do? You want to play a game?
Let's play Uno.
I feel too dead inside.
I actually feel really bad. Like, it just hit me.
I feel bad, but I don't feel super bad. Let me rephrase that. It is a game after all.
It is a game.
It feels great. Honestly, I didn't know that I would be in this position 4 months ago. And, you know, people can say what they want as to why I'm here, blah, 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 but I am here, and I'm pretty excited about it. Well, it's definitely taught me a lot about who to trust, and it might make me a little anxious afterwards, because someone may say something, I'll be like, are you sure? Yeah, you have to trust. You know, I think that this experience has kind of like taught me a lot about myself and really just how much people will do to get what they want.
Being in the final 3 sort of means everything to me, just because it's been part of my game the entire time, and I don't think I've ever really said it. So yeah, it makes me really, really happy. I'm incredibly nervous because I know that I played a tough game to get here, so I'm really nervous about what the jury thinks of me, but I do know that if they have respect for the game, that they must have respect for me, or at least I hope so. So I'm ready. I'm here for a reason, so I want to see what they think. This is weird.
During merge, like we had 7-4.
Yeah.
And it was still like tight.
Yeah.
Now we have an empty page.
So much room for activities.
I wouldn't have thought, I know I'm sure everyone said that, but like I wouldn't have thought I was going to be in Final 3. I would have told you I wanted to be. But I don't know, I think there was definitely a shift in this game where I went from playing just to play the game and goof around and have fun to being, you know, like the funny guy, but also someone who's sort of demanding respect. Like I did play a very serious game, and I think that's why I'm here right now. And like I'm proud of myself. Yeah, I changed a lot of the way I like looked at this game and just acted throughout it. So I think it's definitely changed me.
Right here. On the head.
You know where you're sitting.
And now bringing in the members of the jury.
Molly,
Hannah,
Joe,
Nick,
John,
Sarah,
and Brandon voted out the last tribal council.
Rub it.
Jesus. All right, so as you all may notice, we have an empty chair right there belonging to Moses Small. He could not be with us today, so replacing him on the jury will be the person who's voted out before him. Hannah Cairo will be coming in to replace him.
I'm back.
All right, here's how this is going to work. Final 3, your attention now shifts to the jury. You are going to make your case on why you think you should be winning this game. Each jury member is going to have a chance to come up and ask whatever questions they need to decide who to vote for to be the sole survivor of Survivor Boston Season 3. We'll start with opening statements. Bram, we'll start with you.
First of all, thank you to everyone for organizing this. I think we all had a lot of fun. Second of all, my strategy throughout this game was pretty simple. Start strong and then pull back. Early on with Laku, we won a lot. We pulled through and we stayed away from tribal. I like to think that I was a big part of that, just as y'all were. Then, about halfway through merge, I kind of started to pull in the reins, because when you get that far, power can be your Achilles heel. And honestly, I definitely should have made more of an effort to reach out to people and to make better relationships outside of the challenges. But my strength came when we were competing. I was always loyal until I couldn't be anymore. I always tried my best to play a safe game. At the last tribal, Roz said, we brought you here. Sure, they might have needed me here with them, but for me, they didn't bring me here. I wasn't voted off at all before this. I made it here, and I played a game that put me in a position to where people didn't want to vote me off. I never gave up. I was always here, and I made the best effort to be an encouraging member and thoughtful player of this game. Thank you.
All right, Roz.
Hi. I want to start by saying that, I don't even know where I want to start. I want to start by apologizing to Brandon, because the worst thing I have ever done was, put Brandon on the jury. But Brandon was someone who also taught me that this is an individual game. And he was the one who sort of showed my strength to myself. And with that being said, immediately my game was to start a family. And I had the great opportunity to do that with Jord. It was the perfect time to really rein in trust and rein in laughter and memories, and that was my strength that I knew of. I knew I was a people person. I knew that I could find relationships with people, and that's what I did with Jord. And then throughout the game, I sort of was in this mindset where I was like, I can never prove how strong I am, ever, because it was very obvious that the strong ones leave. So the entire time, I basically was a support system. I always knew during challenges I was never gonna try super, super hard, or when I had to prove myself, I did. In challenges, when I needed to rein back, I did. I also knew, and this is gonna sound terrible, but I knew how to get them to trust me. That's what I did to get here. I used my relationships, I used the best thing I knew how to do to get me here and to support me to get me here. However, Joe Johnson was right in his last tribal. He was correct the entire time. I did know that I was a strong personality, so once it was an individual game, I used it. I started leading conversations, no one wanted to talk, so I was like, okay. And then I wanted to befriend each of you in your own personal way. I wanted all of our relationships to be distinct and different. That also helped me know about everybody else's plans, and then therefore go from there to help my game.
All right, Stefan.
I want to start by saying just, I know a lot of us start this game saying I'm going to play this way, I'm going to come off as this kind of person, blah, blah, blah. I showed up the first day, and I was like, I revert to my natural self for I'm going to joke around and be the silly guy, and it's easier that way. I want to go into this easily. And I think that's how I carry on through most of my actual life out of Survivor. And I've struggled with that a lot. But I don't know, there's a shift in the game where I went from just playing it just to have fun to being someone who I think demands respect. One of the big shifting points in this game for me was
back when it was Hold Yord, and we did that blindfold challenge. And I volunteered to be the person who was like navigating everyone. And immediately after that, I'm like, holy shit, I'm not the right person to do this. I'm gonna leave my team to lose. And that was a big instance of selling myself short, which is something I do a lot. And that was the first time in this game where I'm like, hey, I actually did well. And that was the first instance of this game where I'm like, I believe in myself, kind of. It changed from, just being it changed from being a game to me being a competitor in that game. Internally, I was taking it very seriously. I gave my all in all the challenges, like way too much so. Every challenge was painful afterwards. I was super careful with what I said. I like to think I knew when to say enough and when not to say too much. My best friends don't know about what my game plan was until right now. Because I really wanted to make sure I had this game on lock. And right from the first challenge, we won, and I was obviously super proud of us, but everyone was like, oh, we love each other, this is so great, we're a family. And just the kind of person I am, I was like, yeah, we did great, but I don't want to say we're family, because I just met you guys, but I definitely opened up to you guys, and I saw that we did become a family. I don't know, I think people took me as the kind of person who was just coming here to have a good time, but I had desire to win for a very long time.
Alright, so now jury, you guys now hold all the power in the game. One at a time, you guys will come up. You guys were all asked to come up with questions or statements to ask or tell the final three to help determine your vote. Molly, we're going to start with you.
Cool. So, hey guys, congrats on making it to the final three. So, I know the jury all knows this, but you guys might know it too. After I got voted out, I had a list of 4 people who I said I would not vote for in the final 3. Besides one of them, Sarah, I could be swayed to vote for them. It would have to take more of an effort to do so. So Stefan, you are on that list because I figured you didn't take it seriously and you didn't really care and you didn't have a strategy. So my question is, because Joe Johnson named this Survivor Boston Season 3 No Hard Feelings, I want to have fun today. Why don't the people sitting next to you deserve to win?
Oh. Okay. Well, au contraire, I do think they deserve to win, but I will answer your question. So, I want to start with you.
Okay.
Not because it's easier, because it's hard. From the beginning, I had this desire to win. I think for the first few weeks, maybe first month, I think Roz, obviously you wanted to win in the moment, you wanted to have a really good time. But I did get the feeling you didn't really see yourself in Final 3. Obviously it came later on, and I know I could see that in you. But I think it's important seeing yourself that far into the future, because then you can line up the game for how you want it to be. After every one of our meetings, I would go back to my room, 30 minutes to an hour, deliberate on my own. And every single tribal I went into thinking as though I was going to be voted out, because that was the way I was going to plan around that. I love Bram, he's my big, as I'm sure a lot of you know. But I don't think you made very much of an effort, as you said, to talk to people. We didn't know what he was doing, we didn't know how he was doing it. We over-planned to compensate for that, but at the end of the day, he didn't really have a plan.
Okay, for Roz, people have talked about strategy, about planning ahead, and it seems like you had your strategy down on lock. However, when it came to the final 3, you got rid of Brandon and you kept Bram. Look at the jury. All of us except Brandon have been on a team with Bram, and a lot of us have a fuck Yord mentality. Oh God. Why would you bring him when a lot of us would rather vote Laku over Yord?
I'm gonna be so honest. We saw this and we were literally like, Bram is the only one who has an L. But we also know that every single member of Laku had respect for the game to some extent, and every single member of the jury really cared to some extent and put in effort. Bram was sort of honestly like a ghost in the entirety of the game. I'm banking on the fact that you and other Laku members have more respect for the entirety of how the game was played when it comes down to the winner, instead of just personal ties when it comes down to the winner.
Okay. Final question for Bram. we have been on the same team for all of pre-merge. I considered you probably my closest ally throughout the game. And I really, really do want to vote Laku. But I need to know if you were smart getting here or just lucky.
I was smart. Sure, a lot of what happens in this game is due to luck. However, I was smart because I kept people guessing, and you never faltered. You never voted me off. I didn't want to be powerful. I just didn't want to be powerful because I wanted to avoid at all costs getting a target on my back. I think the people that had to go home were way too powerful. I think that it was one of those decisions where I think it would have made it easier for the jury to decide whether or not than us three.
Okay, thank you. Good luck, you guys.
All right, Nick. Here.
Congrats, guys. So I have a question for each of you, the same one. Who do you think deserves to be instead of you from the jury in the final three? Yeah, I mean, it's like you can start, Stefan. No, Bram, you start first.
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Brandon.
I'm done.
Should we explain or just?
No, I don't want to know.
Okay.
Just want to know.
Alright, Joe Johnson, you're up.
Hi guys, congratulations. Like seriously, congrats. Didn't really bring anything planned because I didn't know what you guys were going to say. And also I was thinking about like, you know what, I'm going to give another speech. That's going to be like, everyone's going to be like, oh my god. But I was like, one of the things about this game is, as a job of a jury member, you have to just go in with like a blank slate. But I see myself in all of you guys, and to be honest, I could very much vote for any of you three. And I still don't know who I'm voting for, TBH, I don't. So like right now, and not talking to the jury, like talk to me, why should I vote for you?
I'll start.
Okay.
I mean, I've already answered this question, but left out a lot of gaps. Joe, you were probably one of the most inspired people this season, and I'm not just saying that to appease you. Like that's like we talked about that a lot, and you fought hard, and that's why we voted you out because this like you weren't giving up, and that's like I took that with me. That's inspiring. This we say post-merge, but post-Joe, it kind of like changed my view on the game, because you did have a lot of hope, and I saw that, and we all saw that, and I don't know, you can plan as much as you want, you can strategize as much as you want, but at the end, like, you have to be hopeful that what you planned is going to come true, what you intend is going to happen, and you don't get voted out of tribal. And that's super important because if you go into a tribal without any confidence at all, like people are gonna see that. I've spent a lot of my life selling myself short, and I finally had the confidence to say that I'm proud of myself. So yeah, I think that's I'm proud to be here. That's why I'm here. Cool.
So, Joe, how you doing, buddy? You and I, we have a good history together. We fought valiantly in Laku, and you were always a very strong player. Why you should vote for me then is because, regardless of what people say, I was the one that could come up here and represent Laku, represent what our tribe, what we fought so hard to build. Also because, they keep saying, I was a ghost, like, why is it me that's up here, and why is it not any of y'all? And it's because I was able to keep disconnected for the longest. And to them, they just thought that, oh, that just means, I'm it'll make it easier for them to win, basically. Maybe they were right, but hopefully they were wrong, because I think that I deserve to be here.
Joe, like, you were my hardest challenger, like my hardest opponent. I would like to say that, like, you see the strength in you and me, and I know that that's what you see in me, because even for the rope thing, like, it was us against each other. Like, Stefan and John could have been there, like, holding on, but it was the two of us, and it was us having a conversation, and I don't know, like, I was leading a lot of conversations. Like, there was always a conversation of what ifs, and that's what made it safe for us.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right. Thank you guys.
And Cairo, you're up.
Alright, guys. So I like to come at it from like a reality TV perspective. So to someone watching at home, do you think that your arc leads it to a satisfying ending if you do win? And that's for everybody.
I can start. Absolutely. Yeah. It would be an exciting win because I was orchestrating all the votes. I was on the right side of every single vote this entire game. I was somebody who was like calm when she needed to be, and then she liked to cause some ruckus when she wasn't. So it's like, I don't know. I also think, I would hope the viewers would like see where I came from in every single decision I made, and they could see like their villain in me.
My answer to your question, honestly, probably not. I didn't have enough, outside footage to kind of show a progression. Do I think that I got more encouraging? I think I grew in some levels. I don't think I had an arc. I think I went,
I think what I was saying about selling myself short and like not having the confidence that's gonna show up on the footage. I had a lot of interesting conversations that we'll see later on when we watch the season with interesting people that a lot of people didn't know about. So yeah.
Thanks, Hannah.
All right, Sarah, you're up.
Okay, so I wrote some stuff down. Bram, congratulations on getting here. A snowball must have fallen in hell.
Gross.
I have a question for Stefan. Congratulations on getting here. I had a feeling you'd be here, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. You're here because you're a good player, but it's not clear that you really skewed the trajectory of the game. Roz did, and so did Bram, because we planned our votes around what was his deal was. But when the four of us would plan out our votes, you would definitely help. You'd be a steady vote and a steady player. But is that necessarily winning material? Rather, more specifically, how have you skewed the trajectory of this game?
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, I definitely had that in mind. For the entire game, I was on this 3-person team where we were controlling the whole time. But in all those conversations, I was thinking the entire time, even though it might have not sounded like it or seemed like it. I didn't want to come off as someone too strong, as you said. And as I said, I had conversations with people outside that I haven't even talked about. So I was always making sure I was reaching out to these people who haven't been reached out to before, and making sure that obviously I could stay in the game and sort of plan for getting voted out each tribal. Yeah.
Roz, congratulations on getting here. You should win, and here's why. You were in control of basically this entire game because Jord was in control of it and you were in control of Jord. But you were the best kind of control, the control that no one noticed the breadth of until it was over. In superlatives, we saw you as the most likable and the most flirtatious, but not the most in control. The game went the way it did because you made it so. You had me thinking that it was the 4 of us until the end, and now hearing that it was really the 3 of you, and I missed out on a lot of conversations, and you were bonding, and hearing that I wasn't pure Jord enough for you guys kind of hurts a little bit, but whatever.
So sorry.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, you played an impressive game, and you deserve it the most. Jury, I know you have strong Laku ties, but please look at the width of the game and how people have played it. Roz was not only the leader of this game, but she was this game. That's my comment.
I love you.
Hannah.
Again, congrats to everyone for making it this far. Roz, there was a comment that you made in one of your answers for a question that Molly had, talking about the jury and how she brought up how can you feel confident in possibly winning if we are supposedly all anti-Yord. And you had said that everyone here, you believe, had respect for the game to a certain extent and tried to a certain extent. Where did that extent? How far was that extent? And why did that cause the rest of us not to be in your position?
I'm a really big believer that strengths should be in it, and strengths are not. It's not like you're in a gym and you like lift it all once and it's like 600 pounds. It's like you need to work to get there. Do you know what I mean? And I think even pre-jury, pre-merge, that was sort of just the characteristic of the season. You showed you cared and you were voted out in your own individual tribes. Basically, like I never played at an end of a spectrum. I was always like sliding up and down of it when I needed to, and that's why I use the word extent, because extent just has this final figure, and everyone's character like was set, and that's why I said like extent that word. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Anna.
John, you're up.
Okay, so I didn't prepare any questions until here because I wanted to hear your guys' opening statements, but now after hearing them, I definitely have stuff to say. Bram, I want to start with you. I'm going to be honest with you, when I was hearing your opening statement, literally this is what I heard the whole time. Babble, babble, babble. You didn't say anything. The entire time, Bram, you were just saying, like, here's what I could have done differently, here's what I could have done, and that's good. I appreciate that. But now you're in a position where it's the three of you, and I need to hear a real reason why you should win over them. And I want to be your friend here. I'm trying to give you that space to give a real reason. I don't want to hear about Laku ties, because I also agree with Roz when it comes to that. I think, honestly, how I'm voting and how I could see a lot of other people voting when it comes time to look at it is they're going to look at who they think played the hardest. And so I want to give you right now the chance to give a real reason that we have not heard yet about why you should win.
Okay. Well, first things first, I think you should open your ears a little bit more. Second thing, I deserve to win, like I've said, because I was able to get here without being powerful, without
by being carried. Like so what you're saying is you got here and you should win because you were carried by the other two.
No, because I was smart enough not to make myself vulnerable enough for them to vote me off.
See, no, I don't want to hear about that though. You're talking about this like you're some sort of mastermind, but Bram, honest to God truth is I don't see you as a mastermind right now.
I'm not a mastermind. And Lord knows that I listen, I've never seen Survivor before. I mean, you can say all you want, but I started out really strong. I brought it in challenges. I was encouraging. I was always a support system for Laku. I think we were all very tightly bonded. And I've never tried to wrong people. I know that's a lot of what this game is about, but I was dumb and I didn't do my best to reach out to people. So I feel like what you're trying to get out of me is just, you're trying to, prod me or egg me on.
No. I want like a real. I just feel like I haven't heard something that. Well, I want to. I am open to changing my mind about my vote, and I want to. I do. But I just so far, and again, I'm not hearing anything. But because there's a shortness of time, I gotta move past very quickly. Stefan, I want to move to you. So of course, I have respect for you and Roz because you guys did get me. I thought I was in a spot where I was controlling the game, and I was fooled, and I gotta have respect for that. It's good. But here's my thing, Stefan, is I am kind of right now looking at your game, and I'm really, I mean, I love you, man, but I'm really trying to figure out in my own head if you played a lazy game or not. If you remember, right before I got voted out, I proposed a plan to you where me and you would vote out Roz and Brandon, and instead take out the two biggest power players. It's really hard for me to not kind of think to myself right now, he didn't go through with it because he just wanted an easy spot in the final three and wasn't thinking about who could win in that final three situation. So I kind of want you to I want your comment on that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll start by addressing the lazy game thing, as I have so many times. I don't think you can spend 6+ hours on one day and still play a lazy game. Just because I'm reserved doesn't mean I'm lazy. A lot of, for I guess the second half of the merge, people were like, Roz is in control of the game. Saying someone's in control of the game is really dangerous. And people saw that because, I don't know, maybe Roz had like a kind of like a mismove. And why I didn't go through with your plan, because I had a lot of trust in Roz and Brandon, and that showed true. And I didn't know who you were talking to outside. I didn't know if you were with Sarah, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to focus on one person who I knew was going to do really well in Final 3, and that was Brandon. And it's a lot of planning, taking out two of your biggest allies. Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for me, but I really do wish all three of you good luck, and Bram, no hard feelings. All right, last up, Brandon.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Congratulations on making it. I wish I could have been there with you guys. And I'm not gonna lie that it does kind of hurt that, I get it, it makes sense. But it just does hurt to know that the people that I spent this whole game with, and then right at the end, they just kicked me to the side. And I think that it was very convenient because, the wins that I had, maybe I was dumb for it, but I did believe that they were our wins. Any win that we had, it was guys, because it's for us, we're safe because of my win, your win, your win, you know what I mean? So yes, I'm dumb for thinking that. So I guess my question is to the two of you, is right at the end, you guys got to betray me. So why shouldn't I betray the two of you right now? Why?
It's a good question.
That's a great question. I don't know if what I'm gonna say is gonna make it worse or better. You made me the player I am. I'm not gonna lie. I saw you in Yord, and I saw that Mary said you and Sarah, and Mary was like, yeah, Sarah's been here before, and Brendan just cares too much. And I was like, you can tell that already? I thought you cared too much. I didn't care about winning because I knew if one of us did it and I was on that same page, but you were also the person that taught me that I should be sticking up for myself, and I should be proud of all the values and the challenges and the wins, and I sort of looked at myself and I was like, fuck, I can do all these great things that you taught me, and yeah.
So since the beginning of the game, I've been hearing, hey, be on Brandon's side. Be Brandon's the player in this game. I probably play this game with the most respect for you.
Yeah.
Because even though you were playing so well, and we were always competing in challenges together and stuff, you within that 3 played a low-key game. You did. Even though people were really rooting for you and stuff, you were pretty reserved. In all those meetings and stuff, I could tell you were holding back a little bit. And I learned from that. That's why I played the way I did. I changed my strategy a little bit later on. I was like, oh, I should pull back and maybe not say so much, because that's what you were doing. I see you as a player who has a lot of respect for this game. And obviously, I think you would have had a really good chance at winning in the final, so I want you to make that vote with that in mind. So, yeah, thanks.
Alright, so jury, you guys have now all gotten a chance to ask your questions, give your statements to the final 3. Hopefully that's enough information to help you decide who you think should be the 3rd winner of Survivor Boston. One at a time now, you will go out and cast your vote. You are casting a vote for a winner. We are going to start with you, Hannah Cairo.
This is really hard.
Roz, I knew I wouldn't be writing your name down till the final 3 because you were this good.
Person I can relate to the most is Stefan. Everyone's sort of thought of me as like a joke and not taking things seriously, so I feel for him on that.
I feel like Bram, he still deserves to win because he's in the final 3. Whatever you people say, he's still in the final 3. My vote is for Bram.
Do I betray them? Do I go with Bram? I don't know. Am I feeling salty today?
All right. Thank you all for an amazing season of Survivor Boston. I'll just jump right to it for the last time. I'll read the votes. Remember, you are looking for your name in this one. First vote, Roz. Bram. Stefan. We're tied, 1 vote each. Oops, come out of there. Stefan.
Go, Tony, relax.
It's 2 votes Stefan, 1 vote Bram, 1 vote Roz. Roz. 2 votes Roz, 2 votes Stefan, 1 vote Bram. Roz. That's 3 votes Roz, 2 votes Stefan, 1 vote Bram, 2 votes left. The winner of Survivor Boston Beacon Hill.
Alright, you guys can like intermingle. Thanks for an awesome season, guys.
Yeah.